So there's Jenny's partners.
Another issue. In Germany, there's a university called maybe created by corporate. We call corporate university, like the Motorola University in USA. Yeah. So, is there any this kind of university in Germany?
Yeah, we have the so-called Berufsakademie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many this kind of university in Germany?
There are not that much. I don't know the exact number, but it's actually, you're right. It's a third kind of university. It's some kind of dual education. Industry and university somehow close together.
Very good connection.
We have some of them, maybe 20 or so.
Oh,
yeah.
So many.
Yeah. I know some could be about 20.
Yeah. There are even some private funded universities, but they are more or less, I would say, universities of applied sciences.
So this kind of student come from this kind, graduate from this kind of student will be preferred by industry, right? Or not
necessarily, but they are also happy to have them. When they are good, it depends on the students.
Yes.
If they are good, then they are happy to have them. If they are not good, then
So I'm also still interested by your introduction to the mechanical and processing engineering. That's for the freshmen. You have a real problem, and you offer to the student, and they cannot handle to that and have some creativity. So how? Yeah, you say the 1 week and 10% in the units.
Yeah.
And how you make it work? How many students involved? Every student, but
every student in mechanical engineering, for instance, about 400.
200.
Yeah.
Typically, for each of these project groups of 10 students, there are 2 mentors.
2 mentors.
And one is from engineering sciences, and one is from educational department. And so they try to supervise these groups. They don't offer answers, but they try to help them organize themselves and to prepare themselves for solving the problem during this week. And at the end, there's a presentation of all the solutions to the problem. And I think the best solution gets also a small prize, whatever. Yeah. So but it's quite interesting what different solutions are possible.
Do they have classes before the project?
Not too many.
Not too many. It starts in December. They start in October, and this is in December.
Okay. So not much.
A few lectures.
And I think one morning in this week, every professor from mechanical engineering offers some consultant hours, so they can choose which professors they want to talk to. I think they can choose about 2 or 3, and then they can pose their questions to them and directly, and so there's also an exchange, and they get to know many of the professors already in the first semester directly. It's quite opportunity for them, I think.
But this kind of course only offered to the mechanical engineering faculty, or the other faculty they have this?
They copy it now.
They copy now.
The electrical engineering, they are also doing it. The civil engineering, no,
I don't think I
but electrical engineering.
Actually, it started to being extracurricular, so everyone could, if he or she wanted to, and it was so successful that the Department of Mechanical Engineering decided to make it mandatory for all students. It's a really good opportunity, because I've been a mentor once in this project, and if you're in the first semester, you are more or less directly from high school here, and you are not very well organized. organized.
Right, right.
And it's interesting to see how, they try to find a solution, how the different people interact in these groups, and they start to learn how to communicate with each other.
Yes, how about how they organize the group? I mean, around 10 to 20 persons?
10%.
10 persons each group. How they organize themselves? I mean, do they know each other before they decide? No, just random?
They are more or less random,
Okay.
and that's also a great opportunity.
Different person.
It's quite. I think there's not one solution how they organize or one answer how they organize. The teams do it differently. There might be some, in Germany you would say alpha persons who, try to do all the decisions and to enforce the other people to their ideas, convince them. Probably there are some more collegiate answers, but it differs on the group. And as mentors, we are only there to look a bit, and if it's getting too worse in some kind of things, if only one is talking all the time and the other 9 are whatever playing cards, I don't know. Then there should be some discussion about that.
So would you reshuffle the group if necessary? I mean, reshuffle. If this group doesn't work, because it was done with someone, and you can reshuffle them. Just reorganize the group.
No, we give them there are discussions I think at the mid of each day and at the end of each day, and we give them feedback what we think about their working. So, and then they can decide, and if it's Friday and they have no good solution, okay, then they have to present their not so good solution to the audience of all students, all professors, and that's also
embarrassing.
That might be embarrassing, but it's an experience.
Right.
Anyway, how it works, it's an experience.
But we do not remix the group. That's what you mean. No. They have to
stay in the group.
Yeah, that's tough.
They have to see what they make out of it.
Can you talk a little bit about the dual advisor supervisor?
Dual supervisor.
How it works?
One professor from one professor from
of the graduate school. Dual supervision concept.
The supervision concept of the graduate school now, or of this course?
Of this course.
Of the graduate school.
Of the graduate school.
So typically we have 2 supervisors from different faculties.
For one student, right?
For one student,
And then how they advise that student?
Typically the student is, we have one main supervisor, I would say.
One is
one main supervisor, and the student is somehow embedded in the group of this main supervisor. In this institute. That's his home institute, I would say. But then he's also a member here in the graduate school. And via this graduate school, there is then the second supervisor, who has a different group, who gives his input to the research subject. So the student goes to this second supervisor not that often as to the first one, maybe depends also twice per year only. And the second supervisor gives his input. And the first supervisor, of course, this happens much more often. The students in the group and takes part in the activities in the group when they presentations inside this group.
The first supervisor is the main supervisor. And the student need to find a second supervisor.
Typically not. It's usually the first supervisor thinks about who can be a good second supervisor.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
So even when we define the project, then typically we interact already with the second supervisor because they are from different disciplines, and they have to think what is a good subject for working together with for these two groups. And this also stimulates somehow some new research activities. And you see, we are doing this, and we can make out a joint project.
So professors, these two professors may have to discuss or meet together with the students and to hear the different opinions about the project. Right? Is that the way that all the students go to each professor individually? Or
it depends. Sometimes they meet all together, or if the student has some special question, he comes to the professor and asks. Also, sometimes the professor asks the students
to come.
Can you
and
talk
he's
about
not that active as he should be.
Can you talk about the cyber physical system? Cyber physical system. Yes.
There's a special topic. I'm not very familiar with this. A colleague from computer science is promoting this in our school. And do you know more about it?
It's about
Industry 4.0.
No.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's about remote monitoring of, for example, environmental accidents or something like that. So that there are robots or whatever going through contaminated areas and collecting data. Probably even probably they start with collecting data. And at a later stage, they also think about rescuing people or whatever who are lying there injured or something like that. That's a very simplified explanation I can offer so far, because the group is a bit in the beginning.
In the beginning, okay.
It's kind of process control system, right?
Yes, but on a global, more global level. I think environmental monitoring is also it's only one part of it. It's also if you have a problem within a building or something like that, and there's smoke or whatever, then you could also think about that someone has to go in the cellar or on the roof. Actually, best would be a robot to do this, and not another human being who could get injured also. So that's and they should. And that's probably the main part. These robots, these subsystems should act autonomously, more or less. They should communicate with other subsystems, but they don't have to be controlled by a human, which is other. They should act and decide what they do and where they walk, which way, where they collect data and that stuff. That's the idea.
And then they figure out the critical point and to identify the problem and try to solve it autonomously.
But this is the far target.
No. This is a brand new research area.
successful yet. 还不见得有这个技术。
So I'm interested about the cooperation between mathematician and the engineering. Sometimes the mathematician, they are more focused on the theory proof. And where they may more focus on the error, try to reduce the error. But I graduated from the University of Texas, Austin, where I got a degree there. We have a big group called, at that time called TaiCom, and they become a TaiCam. And that is combining mathematician and the fine art guy, and they try to at that time, okay, it's 20 years ago, the adaptive method, okay, is trying to reduce the error in the computing. So what is your how you cooperate? Yeah, between mathematicians.
The best is to practice this cooperation. So I know that it's very difficult sometimes because they speak different languages.
Yeah, right.
In some places it works good, and here in Darmstadt we have a very long tradition with these interdisciplinary projects between mathematicians and engineers. So big research groups financed by this research foundation where they work together since 25 years. And over that long time also some good connections have been established. And meanwhile it's really not a problem. At least for a few mathematicians. This about 5 here in Darmstadt, 5 or 6 or 7 maybe. But we have 25 professors.
Yes.
And with the others, it's really impossible to do some reasonable research together for the engineers. So it's also important that both partners would like to go into this direction. There are mathematicians that say, oh